Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I know what you're thinking. We need more Spider multiverse comics because Marvel has really not done much with that. You have the huge popularity of the Spider-Verse films, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, soon or maybe not soon, or whoever knows when Beyond the Spider-Verse will come. It's always great to end a movie on a cliffhanger and then not quite lock down the sequel, the follow-up's release date, and then it's in limbo. Anyone want to bet? This movie, I'm guessing, is spring to summer of 2025. I think we're about a year away from that movie, which is just not ideal. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, we're talking comics here. Of course, I am being sarcastic. Marvel has gone to the Spider-Verse well quite a lot, and you might have missed it because, I mean, you become numb to a lot of this stuff, but there's been an Edge of Spider-Verse title where they've been introducing other Spider-Man variants. And one of the more recent issues, I was looking at it about a month ago, and it featured the cover featured the kind of an exciting looking Spider-Man. Then you open it up, and the first story is about a lesbian black space Spider-Man that did not look like the character on the cover even a little bit. And then the backup story was the Web Weaver, the Spider-Man who's a model who secretly has a crush on Peter Parker, but it's not Peter Parker, and then maybe Peter has I don't know. It's hard to, nobody really knows. But the cover is super exciting. It looks like a lot of dynamic stuff is going on, and you open it up to a lot of really bad jokes. And I sometimes think to myself, the person who's buying their first comic, and so this is somebody who, for whatever reason, has gone into a comic shop. Maybe they're out with their parents. The kid is excited, like, please let me buy a comic. And they see Spider-Verse, and they see this cool looking space Spider-Man on the front of the cover. They just saw the, Across the Spider-Verse movie, which visually was very exciting. The cover also looks kind of exciting. The kid's begging the parents, this is a comic I want. Are you sure? Yeah, this is the one I want. I want this one. And it's issue 3 because, kids picking this stuff up don't really have any, sense of issue 1, 2, or 3. So they grab this one and they open it up only to find, pretty horrendous art compared to the cover. And then a very backward ass story with characters, 1, they don't recognize, 2, just, both stories dealt heavily with the characters crushing or having a relationship. And the very little spider action. It was, anyways, painful. All right. Anyway, enough about that. So Marvel is announcing that they are teaming up every Spider-Man ever. I'm gonna say I don't agree. Where's Japanese Spider-Man? From the TV show, the one that used a machine gun. Let's get that guy involved. Anyway, teaming up every Spider-Man ever for the final evolution of the Spider-Verse saga. Okay, so several things wrong in that one sentence, because if anyone believes this is the final evolution, I'm going to say bullshit. Let's read it and see for ourselves. It says, everybody loves the Spider-Verse, at least judging by the popularity of the beloved Spider-Verse films, certainly not by the comics, and the ongoing success of Marvel's Edge of Spider-Verse comics. Okay, article. Okay, who wrote this? George Marston from Newsarama. All right, I did. Okay. All right. I don't even know what to say. But now, Marvel Comics is promising the final evolution of its Spider-Verse saga with the announcement of Spider Society, a comic limited series that teams up every Spider-Man ever to take on an equally menacing force of Spidey villains from across the multiverse. Wow. Huge story like this, packing in every Spider-Man from across the multiverse versus every Spider-Villain from across the multiverse. How big is this limited series? It's got to be 24, 36 issues. I mean, that's a lot to cram in. The 4-issue Spidey Society limited series is written by Alex Segarra with art from Scott Godlewski. It picks up from Edge of Spider-Verse titles, which have been introducing new variants of Spidey from all across the multiverse and checking in with a few fan favorites. Yeah, sure. For several years. All of the Spider-Man variants and more will come together in a Spider Society to fight the Sinister Squadron, a force of multiversal villains that takes its name from Spidey's classic enemies, the Sinister Six. Thanks. I was not aware that Sinister Squadron was a play on words from Sinister Six. Thank you for putting that one together for me, George. I really appreciate it. Segura is no stranger to the Spideyverse, as the writer of several stories across multiple volumes of the Edge of Spider-Verse comic. As for Godlowski, he's recently been making his name as the artist of Miss Marvel Mutant Menace, which catches up with newly christened mutant Kamala Khan in a comic co-written by Aman Bolay. What is going on with this press release? Like, what comic are we trying to hype here? Jesus Christ. Okay. We're going to wrap. We're having so... fuck you, comic. All right, sorry. We've had such a blast building toward and teasing Spider Society in the pages of Web of Spider-Man and Edge of Spider-Verse. I hope readers enjoy the amazing roster of spider heroes we're bringing together to face off against a new but eerily familiar threat. Variants of Doc Ock. Segura says, Scott Godlowski is a perfect choice to bring our Spider-Verse adventure to life. In fairness, Scott's the dart on Kamala Khan Mutant Menace was not bad. So, yeah, it's our up-and-coming talent absolutely wasted another goddamn Spider-Man multiverse book. Okay, His take on spider heroes from Spider-Man 2099 to Spider-Ramen is readers can expect a wild multiversal ride full of surprises and fun character moments, evoking the Spider-Verse tales they love. August can't come fast enough. I disagree. Okay. Anyway, Spider Society #1 goes on sale August 14th with a main cover by Pete Woods and a Spider-Gwen variant by Stanley Art Jim Lau, which undoubtedly is going to make the most out of the way that Art Jim draws tits in a really exciting and, light, focusing off the curves way in the hopes of selling a few more copies of this book. Okay, so no, fuck that. But my question to you is this, and it's a question to you, but none of us have the answers to this, and it's okay. We've seen the numbers. A lot of the Edge of Spider-Verse titles, a lot of these variants aren't selling terribly well. Granted, they're selling better than a lot of indie comics with no marketing. They're selling better than Savage Dragon, but this doesn't feel good, does it? I mean, it's like being the only kid in your college dorm who doesn't have herpes. You're glad you don't have herpes, but do you really feel good sharing a dorm room with a bunch of people with herpes? You're a winner, but you're also a loser at the same time. This is what this title feels like. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to, but God damn it. Like, how many Spider-Verse, multiversal Spider Society? I understand the movie was popular, and I like the movie too. I did a review, it's going to appear on my channel at some point, but I like the Spider-Verse movies. Artistically, they look great. Story is actually pretty good. It keeps it moving. It's a good, fast-paced story. Is there stuff to complain about? Sure, because you can always complain about everything. But they're good, focused, smart, fast movies that keep you entertained. My older daughter watched the movie and said, I didn't get bored once during that movie. Okay. For a teenager, that's saying something. That's a good product. The stuff that's been coming out in the comics is just like, it feels like once upon a time, they stumbled on one idea. Hey, we could have Spider-Man multiverse with some wacky spider. What if there's a horse Spider-Man? What about a Spider-Man that sells Twinkies? How about that? Remember that? Does everybody remember, it's a perfect blend of bullshit and nostalgia. Remember that Spider-Man where he used to give out Twinkies to the villains to make them stop fucking around, and then he'd send them off to jail, but they're happy about it because they've got Twinkies? Or no, Hostess fruit pies. What am I doing? I'm blowing all, but I've got my Hostess fruit pie, says the Green Goblin, so I'm not going to go murder your girlfriend this time. I'm going to eat this cherry-filled delight. This is the kind of stuff that, where's that character? Why not that character in the Spider-Verse? Have we not had that? I'm sure, and as I'm saying this, I'm sure there's been some goddamn comic that's had 1 page, 2 pages of a fucking Spider-Man character trying to shill Hostess fruit pies, except you're so goddamn lame, you can't even go bother to get the copyright for Hostess fruit pies, which is worth like 25 cents nowadays, but you can't even do that. So instead you're calling them like pastry-filled fruit snack because you suck. Anyway, where am I going? I've gone way I've gone way out of the world. Is there any life left in the Spider-Verse comic? Is there any comic concept that has just been murdered as much as the Spider-Verse? Is there anything left to grift off of this corpse? Maybe you guys love the Spider-Verse stuff, and I'm just shitting on your favorite comic. Is that true? Let me know in the comments below. But on all honesty, so you get excited. Spider Society facing the Sinister Squadron, which is a clever play on Sinister Six. Ah, I get it now. Anyway, thanks for listening.